Welcome back, Lincoln Currency. If you've ever found an old penny in your change and wondered whether it might be worth something, you're not alone. Millions of people overlook coins every day, not realizing that some of them, especially older ones, might carry incredible value. One of the most fascinating coins to ever spark this kind of intrigue is the 1980 1-cent Lincoln penny. That's right. Just 1 cent. But behind this tiny copper coin lies a story of history, numismatic fascination, and even rumors of a $432 million valuation. Today, we're diving deep into the 1980 Lincoln penny with mint marks, breaking down its background, its variations, and why some collectors are paying big money for them. The 1980 Lincoln penny may seem like any other coin at first glance, but in the world of coin collecting, known as numismatics, it holds a unique place. First, let's go back to the origins of the Lincoln cent itself. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, the Lincoln cent replaced the Indian head penny and became the first U.S. coin to feature a president's portrait. The design by Victor David Brenner featured Lincoln's profile on the obverse, while the reverse initially bore wheat stalks on either side of the denomination. 1 cent. That design remained until 1958, when the reverse was changed to the Lincoln Memorial, a design that would remain in place through 2008. Now, fast forward to 1980. That year, the U.S. Mint struck hundreds of millions of Lincoln pennies across its various facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each of these coins can be distinguished by a tiny mint mark just under the year, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and no mark at all for Philadelphia. While most 1980 pennies are common, struck by the hundreds of millions, certain versions, particularly proof coins and errors, have skyrocketed in value due to rarity and collector demand. Let's look at the mintage figures first to get a sense of scale. In 1980, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 7.4 billion pennies, yes, billion with a B. Denver wasn't far behind, with a mintage of nearly 5.1 billion coins. These were regular circulation coins, and most of them have little to no value above face value today unless they are in pristine, uncirculated condition or contain some kind of minting error. San Francisco, however, primarily produced proof coins, shiny, highly detailed coins made specifically for collectors. The 1980 S-proof Lincoln cent was struck in much lower quantities, around 3.5 million, and features much sharper details with a mirror-like background. These proof coins are often more desirable and valuable depending on their grade and overall preservation. Now, what about those eye-catching headlines and listings claiming a 1980 penny is worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars? Some even claim that one sold for $432 million. Let's be clear, such astronomical values are either misinformation, extreme exaggerations, or based on unique cases involving private collectors and heavily exaggerated media. There is no public record of a 1980 Lincoln penny selling for $432 million. That said, certain rare and exceptional examples can and have sold for thousands of dollars. One of the main factors that can elevate a 1980 penny's value dramatically is a mint error. These are mistakes that happen during the minting process and can take various forms: off-center strikes, double dies, missing clad layers, die cracks, or coins struck on the wrong planchet. A double die penny, for example, may show doubling of letters and numbers on the coin, something visible to the naked eye. This type of error can turn an ordinary 1-cent coin into a collector's dream. A 1980 penny with a strong double die on the obverse, especially with clean surfaces and high luster, could fetch several hundred to a few $1,000s at auction. The condition of the coin also plays a huge role in its value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect specimen. A 1980 penny in MS 65 or higher, MS meaning mint state, can command premiums, especially if it's certified by a respected grading service like PCGS or NGC. A regular 1980 penny in worn condition might be worth a penny, but one in flawless, uncirculated condition with a rare error could sell for $1,000 or more. In rare cases, even more. Some 1980 S-proof coins in PR 70 DCM, Proof 70 Deep Cameo, condition have sold for hundreds of dollars due to their stunning finish and extreme rarity in that perfect grade. The deep cameo contrast between the frosted design and mirror-like background is especially attractive to collectors. If such a coin has strong eye appeal and has been well preserved since minting, it can easily become the crown jewel of a collector's portfolio. And then there are coins with bizarre provenance or private sale history. A coin might technically sell for millions if a collector and a private buyer agree on that valuation, especially if the coin is associated with a rare or sentimental story. But such transactions are rare and not reflective of the general market. The $432 million figure making the rounds in online articles and social media posts appears to be a hyperbolic or clickbait claim, often used to generate views rather than reflect reality. However, what is very real is the excitement that surrounds coin collecting, and the passion collectors feel for even seemingly ordinary coins like the 1980 penny. Every detail matters: the mint mark, the condition, the luster, the strike quality, and especially any errors. For some collectors, the thrill is in the hunt, checking rolls of coins, pocket change, estate sales, and online auctions in hopes of finding that one exceptional piece. As of 2025, prices for 1980 Lincoln cents vary greatly depending on the factors we've mentioned. A circulated 1980D or 1980 penny with no mint mark typically sells for between 1 and 5 cents in bulk. In MS65 condition or better, these coins can go for $5 to $20. Proof coins from San Francisco can bring in between $5 and $50 depending on the grade, and error coins have the widest range, from $50 for a minor off-center strike to over $5,000 for a spectacular double die error or unique anomaly. So, should you start digging through your coin jars and checking every 1980 penny you come across? Absolutely. While you might not stumble upon a $432 million windfall, you could very well find a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Even better, you might discover a hobby that brings you joy, challenge, and community. Coin collecting connects us with history, design, and the stories that coins carry through time. In conclusion, the 1980 Lincoln penny may seem like an ordinary, common coin, but its story is far richer than its face value suggests. From mint errors and proof variants to the excitement of uncirculated gems and exaggerated legends of massive value, the 1980 penny embodies the mystery and potential of American coinage. And who knows? The next time you receive change from a cashier, you might be holding a hidden treasure in your hand. Thanks for watching, and remember to check your change. Your next coin discovery might just surprise you. Have you ever walked past a penny on the sidewalk, ignored it, or even kicked it away without a second thought? What if I told you that there's a version of the 2002 Lincoln penny, yes, that ordinary copper-plated zinc coin, that collectors today believe could be worth over $432 million? Sounds like fantasy? Well, this is one rabbit hole of numismatic mystery you don't want to miss. Let's dive into the remarkable world of the 2002 1-cent coin, commonly known as the Lincoln penny. For most people, this coin is just pocket change, nothing more than a symbol of small value or even a forgotten relic of the past. But beneath its coppery surface lies a story full of history, mystery, speculation, and sometimes even myth. And somewhere in that story, a figure emerges, $432 million, that has collectors, investors, and enthusiasts buzzing with curiosity. The 2002 Lincoln penny was struck during the modern memorial cent era, a time that began in 1959 and ended in 2008, marking the 50th anniversary of the Lincoln Memorial design. The obverse of the coin, its front, features the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His initials, VDB, can be found discreetly at the base of Lincoln's shoulder. The reverse displays the Lincoln Memorial, a design by Frank Gasparo that replaced the wheat ears seen in earlier issues. But what makes the 2002 edition stand out? After all, over 3 billion of these pennies were minted across the Philadelphia and Denver mints. That's right, billions. The Philadelphia Mint struck more than 3.2 billion pennies in 2002, while the Denver Mint added another 3.3 billion to the pile. With those numbers, you'd think this coin is as common as dirt, and in many ways it is. So, how did a coin so widely distributed become the center of million-dollar speculation? Well, that's where things start getting interesting. You see, while most 2002 pennies are worth face value, just 1 cent, certain rare variants, errors, and condition-specific coins can be worth far more. And sometimes, due to misinformation or viral stories, their value is blown far out of proportion. One such story involves a supposed 2002 Lincoln penny valued at $432 million. No official auction has ever validated this claim, and no coin grading service has confirmed such a valuation. Still, the story persists, capturing the imagination of collectors and the public alike. But let's not dismiss this outright. There is a kernel of truth at the heart of the story. Rare coins, especially those with unique mint errors, can fetch incredible sums. Let's consider what kind of errors could make a 2002 penny so valuable. First, there's the double die error. This occurs when a coin is struck by a die that has been engraved with a doubled image, causing parts of the coin's design, especially letters and numbers, to appear twice, slightly offset. A genuine double die penny from any year can be worth thousands of dollars, especially if the doubling is strong and the coin is in mint condition. Next, we have off-center strikes. These occur when the coin is not properly aligned with the press, resulting in part of the design being missing. Depending on how far off-center the coin is, and whether the date is still visible, this kind of error can also significantly increase a penny's value. Then there's the wrong planchet error. Occasionally, a coin will be struck on a blank intended for a different denomination, or even a different country. These types of errors are rare, and collectors prize them dearly. And finally, there's condition. Even a perfectly normal 2002 penny, with no errors whatsoever, can command a premium price if it's in pristine condition. A coin graded MS-70, mint state, perfect, by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC could be worth $50 to $100 or more, simply because of its condition. In the world of numismatics, perfection pays. But here's where we circle back to that mythical $432 million figure. Where did it come from? Was it a hoax, a misprint, a misunderstood auction report? Some believe the figure was generated from a fake online listing, perhaps one designed to scam uninformed buyers or to generate clicks. Others speculate it may have been a data entry error or even a satirical listing that went viral and was mistaken for real. The internet is no stranger to viral hoaxes, especially in the world of collectibles. We've seen similar rumors surface around 1943 copper pennies, 1955 double dies, and even bicentennial quarters. Still, the story of the $432 million penny remains an intriguing parable, a warning and a wonder. It's a reminder of how myths can spread like wildfire in the numismatic world. Yet it also sparks a deeper truth. Some coins are worth much more than face value. All it takes is the right combination of rarity, demand, condition, and historical intrigue. Let's take a look at real-world values. As of today, a typical circulated 2002 Lincoln penny with either a D, Denver, or no mint mark, Philadelphia, is worth, you guessed it, 1 cent. However, uncirculated examples in mint condition can be sold for between 10 cents to $2. That's still a significant markup for a coin that's essentially free if found in your change. For coins graded by PCGS or NGC, prices can climb. An MS-67 example might sell for $20 to $50, while a flawless MS-69 could go for hundreds. And if a rare error is found, like a strong double die or a wrong planchet, the value can jump into the thousands. For example, a known 2002 D penny struck on a 10-cent planchet once sold for over $1,000 at auction. It's also important to remember the psychological and speculative element. The hype around coins, especially fueled by social media, can push perceived values way above actual market worth. This leads to a classic economic pattern, the speculative bubble. People see headlines like, 2002 penny sells for $432 million, and they begin hoarding every penny they find, hoping to strike it rich. The market gets flooded, misinformation spreads, and only a few truly rare coins hold any real value. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't look. because treasure hunting is part of the thrill. Every coin is a tiny piece of history, a frozen moment in the timeline of a nation's economy. That penny in your drawer or under your car seat? It might be common, or it might be a rare error that slipped through the cracks. So here's what you can do: check your 2002 pennies carefully. Look for doubling on the date or lettering. Inspect the edges for off-center strikes. Weigh them. Normal 2002 pennies weigh about 2.5 grams. If one is significantly heavier or lighter, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet. And if you think you've found something extraordinary, don't go straight to eBay. Submit it to a reputable grading service and get it certified. And while you're at it, enjoy the journey. The world of coin collecting is full of stories, mysteries, and endless discoveries. The 2002 Lincoln penny, whether worth 1 cent or $1 million, is part of a much larger narrative, a narrative of American history, art, craftsmanship, and sometimes pure luck. So next time you find a penny on the ground, pick it up. Turn it over. Look closely. It might just be $1 million mystery waiting to be solved, or at the very least, a reminder that even the smallest things can carry the biggest stories. Thanks for watching. And remember, every coin has a story. What's yours? Back to the channel, everyone. Today, we are going to explore a fascinating story hidden in plain sight, right in your pocket change. It's the story of the 2021 Lincoln penny, a 1-cent coin that might seem insignificant to most, but has become the focus of collectors, speculators, and numismatists around the world. You might think, how can a single penny minted in 2021 be worth more than face value, let alone be rumored to have sold for astronomical figures like $432 million? Sounds like fantasy, right? But let's take a deep dive into the world of rare coins, hidden varieties, minting anomalies, and collector frenzy that can turn a copper-plated zinc disc into a financial treasure. Let's begin with a bit of history. The Lincoln cent has been in continuous production since 1909, introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person instead of a symbolic image like Liberty. Originally struck in bronze, the composition has changed over the decades due to war efforts and economic factors, and since 1982, most Lincoln pennies are made from a core of 97.5% zinc with a thin copper plating. While these materials are inexpensive, the sentimental and collector value is where things get interesting. The 2021 Lincoln penny continues the modern shield reverse design, first introduced in 2010 to replace the Lincoln bicentennial reverse designs. On the obverse, the portrait of Lincoln remains stoic and strong, a tribute to a president whose legacy changed the course of American history. The 2021 penny was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S, primarily for proof coins. Most of these coins are common. Billions were produced. But within those billions, a few anomalies have caught the eyes of collectors. So how does a 2021 penny go from being worth 1 cent to potentially being worth thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions, allegedly $432 million? It all begins with minting errors, rare varieties, and speculative hype in the collectibles market. First, consider the coin's minting process. Each penny begins as a blank zinc disc that is fed through high-pressure dies that strike the coin's design. When dies are worn, misaligned, or damaged, they can create mint errors. These errors, such as double die obverse, DDO, off-center strikes, die cracks, and retained cut errors, are sometimes extremely rare and sought after. In the case of the 2021 penny, several varieties have surfaced. One notable version is the 2021 D double die obverse. This error displays clear doubling in the date, Liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust." These doubling effects are not always obvious without magnification, but when discovered and authenticated, they can command premiums ranging from hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on condition. Another known variety is the die chip or blob error on the reverse, usually located near the shield or above the Union banner. These die chips occur when a small piece of the die breaks off, allowing metal to fill in the gap during the strike. While not extremely rare, When the blob appears in a notable or unusual spot, it can become a collector's conversation piece. For example, a coin that appears to show Lincoln crying due to dye chips has generated viral attention. This type of psychological and visual association often fuels demand among casual collectors and TikTok-era influencers. Then, there are the so-called transitional errors or fantasy errors. Sometimes a coin is struck using a leftover planchet from a different year or denomination, creating what is called a mule coin. While none of these have been officially confirmed for the 2021 penny, rumors and fake listings online sometimes circulate coins claiming to be silver pennies, or pennies struck on dime planchets. These are incredibly rare but can occasionally slip through the cracks, and if real, can sell for tens of thousands of dollars at auction. One thing's for sure, if you ever find a 2021 penny that feels unusually light or heavy, or has a weird color or edge, it's worth investigating further. Now, let's talk about the market frenzy and the alleged $432 million value. It's important to be absolutely clear. Number 2021 Lincoln Cent has officially sold for that amount. The $432 million figure most likely comes from an internet hoax, a viral post, or a satirical listing meant to grab attention. Sometimes, coins are listed on eBay or private marketplaces with absurd "buy it now" prices, not because they're actually worth that much, but because sellers are hoping to spark curiosity or media coverage. That being said, there have been 2021 pennies sold for up to $5,000 or more, especially when certified by a third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC as having rare doubling or being in pristine condition with a high mint state (MS) rating, typically MS 68 or higher. When a coin achieves an MS 70 rating, the highest possible, it becomes a candidate for ultra-premium value due to its perfect strike, no visible flaws under 5x magnification, and extreme rarity in that condition. While MS 70 2021 pennies do exist, they are incredibly rare and generally only seen in proof coins from the San Francisco Mint. Proof coins are specially struck using polished dies and blanks, resulting in mirror-like surfaces and sharp details. These are sold directly to collectors in protective cases. If you have a 2021 S-proof penny, especially one graded PR70 deep cameo by a major grading service, it could be worth between $30 and $200 depending on demand and the total population of that grade. Now, let's return to the notion of a common coin having uncommon value. The psychology of collecting plays a huge role in market behavior. Many coin collectors start young, looking through their spare change. When they discover that an everyday object could be rare or valuable, they get hooked. This fuels demand. Add to that the influence of YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and viral news stories, and suddenly a plain coin gets thrust into the spotlight. Search terms like rarest penny, $1 million penny, or error penny worth thousands get millions of hits each year. People flood to auctions and listings hoping to get rich, or at least find a story worth telling. There have been instances where coins from recent years, including 2021, have seen rapid value increases due to media hype. In particular, coins certified by PCGS or NGC and given a population report showing extremely low quantities in the highest grades become instant targets for investment. Some speculators buy these coins not just as collectibles, but as assets, similar to fine art, vintage cars, or rare stamps. This is what sometimes leads to sensational valuations. But a key factor is liquidity, what someone is actually willing to pay. Just because a coin is listed for $432 million doesn't mean that's its market value. Value is determined at the intersection of rarity, demand, and willingness to pay. So, where does this leave the average person? Can you find a valuable 2021 penny in your pocket? Yes, it's possible, but unlikely. However, if you're diligent, patient, and have a good magnifying glass, you might come across a mint error or variety that's worth grading. The best steps to take if you think you have a valuable coin are: 1. Don't clean it, as this can ruin the value. 2. Use a reputable price guide or coin forum to compare it to known varieties. 3. Consider submitting it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading and encapsulation. And 4. If it's unique, Get a second opinion from an experienced numismatist or coin dealer. At the end of the day, the 2021 Lincoln penny is a modern marvel. Billions exist, yet each one carries the potential to surprise. Whether it's due to a minting mishap, a die variety, or the unpredictable whims of the collector market, a 1-cent coin can indeed become worth thousands, or more. The rumors of a $432 million penny might be exaggerated, but the thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovery, and the connection to American history are very, very real. So next time you receive change from the store, don't just toss those pennies aside. Take a look. You never know what might be staring back at you from the copper-coated past. And that's a wrap on our deep dive into the 2021 Lincoln penny, a coin that proves even the smallest things can carry the biggest stories. If you enjoyed this journey through coin history, errors, and extreme values, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos on coin collecting, hidden rarities, and how to identify value in your own collection. Until next time, keep searching, keep discovering, and never underestimate the power of a penny.